never would I have dreamed that I would rather watch She-Hulk go on her drunk dating adventures than subject myself to the sheer agony of watching the latest Disney Plus MCU project. But here we are, with Agatha All Along, a show that tries to be a parody, but believes that what it means to be a parody is to make a show that's bad and boring on purpose. Yes, Agatha All Along, the Disney Plus spin-off of another Disney Plus spin-off, which was created to set up two more sequel spin-offs within the humongo cinematic universe. But now, don't get me wrong, being a spin-off doesn't necessarily make anything inherently bad. Having something that is poorly written is what makes these works of art bad. And is Agatha All Along well written? No. Is Agatha well acted? No. Is it well produced? No. Is it well directed? No. Is Agatha at least funny? No. Well, in the grand scheme of everything going on, failing in those metrics, those don't really matter, because the most important question of them all is Agatha
the gayest Marvel project yet. Do you agree?
It better be.
And as Disney Plus just keeps burying itself deeper and deeper into its cringe coffin, there is another streaming platform out there that is, on paper, doing the exact same thing as Disney. They're trying to continue its own comic universe by taking the villain of a previous story, turning them into an anti-hero, and giving them their own spin-off show that is all about the pursuit of power, while living in the aftermath of what the hero did in the previous entry. And, oddly enough, also having this disgusting protagonist stripped down to their birthday suit in the first episode. But even amongst all of those similarities, a dramatic difference between Warner Brothers and Disney is that The Penguin is a show that is certainly well acted, produced, directed, and I would argue most importantly, well written. And to give you a pretty good example of how The Penguin is astronomically better in terms of writing quality than Agatha, I think you don't even have to look much further than how both shows characterize their protagonist in the first episode. Because one of these shows effectively gets you invested in their protagonist even when they're an immoral, repulsive wannabe gangster, and the other show, well,
Only on TikTok.
Just let us die.
but foundational in all good storytelling, something that invites an audience to buy in, is the ability to understand and connect with the motivations of a character. What drives the character? What longings do they have? But how does the Penguin get the audience to care about this ugly scumbag Birdman? Well, I'm so happy that I asked myself this own question, because right from the start, in the opening scene, the Penguin clearly shares what he aspires to be. And even though it's a bit morally flawed, it is sincere and, in a sense, admirable, as he shares about how much he reveres this old crime boss from back in the day, this man who would look after and care for all the people in his neighborhood, insinuating that that's who Penguin wants to be, somebody who uses their power to treat people with dignity. And this is pushed further as we really empathize with the Penguin, even though he's a murderous psycho, because we see a little bit of good in him, and then see him get mocked by somebody else just because Penguin was sharing his dream. And then the show smartly does a lot of seemingly small things throughout the first episode to humanize the Penguin for us, as we hear him complain about not getting enough pickles on his sandwich, what his favorite flavor of Slurpee is, and that this big bad mobster secretly listens to Dolly Parton. We also see him awkwardly navigate small talk with a stranger as he kind of goes on and talks about the air fresheners that he has in his car. But the most poignant example of this humanization that we have here is the show cleverly sets up that the only woman that Oswald has in his life is his mother. A woman that he clearly cares for, but has a little bit of a complicated relation with, and who certainly has a strong influence over him. So even in one episode, the Penguin made effective use of its time to build characterization for Oswald Cobblepot. And what can I say about Agatha from her first 2 episodes? What reason do I have to root for her? I think she likes to sing. And do I care at all about Agatha Harkness? Absolutely not. Her character motivations are non-existent. She's just a one-note, surface-level character. She manipulates people and is hungry for power, and that's it.
Just blast me!
So even with all of the time that Agatha has musical numbers and talks about makeup and eats candles, there is nothing keeping the audience hooked into the show, because we don't even have the pleasure of giving the smallest amount of attention at all to the main character. But I guess when you make a show bad and boring and pointless on purpose, it somehow is a bulletproof excuse to all criticism.
Total loser!
So I guess you should make sure you renew your Disney Plus subscriptions to support Agatha All Along, because just like the other smash hits such as She-Hulk and The Acolyte, Agatha All Along will certainly need your help to get a season 2. And now, after hearing me go on this spiel, if I am at least not the stupidest person you heard today, then boy do I have a message here for you.
Thanks for watching
DUCKFINDER
on YouTube. For more premium content, subscribe.